Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. We are going to be talking about why you are getting ill, especially if you're a female in a relationship. There's no coincidence. I believe in the masculine and the feminine energy, so it doesn't matter if you're straight or gay, this also works on you. So there is a logical reason why you are getting sick and you're feeling ill. So I want to base on this search that I have figured out in the Kuta compatibility. It's through the Vedic astrology system, and it's one of those ancient things. I talk about it with a few astrologers on my channel, so I'll definitely link that at the end of the video so you have a better understanding if you're really curious. And also, if you're interested in finding what your Kuta compatibility is, so that means your relationship compatibility with your partner, I'll link a video also on this, so it kind of explains what happens in the relationship when you score certain areas. So I really can't get to the details in this video because it's just too long. I have broken it up in my other videos, so you're more than welcome to watch this. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Sindy V King. I am a creator of Calling in My King. I help transform women to create lasting love through Vedic astrology, neuroscience, and transactional analysis, so that she becomes the queen of love. So this is what I have learned and discovered either through my clients, learning about the formula of the Kuta compatibility, which is the Indian formula when they do the marriage consultations for couples and for families. So I have figured this out and I have a better understanding what it is, so I can break it down to you. And today we're going to specifically talking about relationship illness. So there is a reason why there's a possibility that the relationship you're in could cause illness. And again, it's through the emotions. So I'm going to use also the psychology of it as well. So I'm going to break it down to you what that might look like. I also want to have a disclosure that every emotion have layers of other factors are in. So I do talk about that in my channel. That's through a transactional analysis, and we break it down to the ego state. So I really break it down to like the T, what actually happens. But in this one, I'm just going to generalize it and just remember this, one emotion can branch off to other factors as well. So, but this is a common denominator that I have found through my clients and talking to them and what really caused them. And these are the same words that they are using it. And you might call it something totally different, but that's okay as well. But it's still under the same branch. And I just broke it up into 3 different categories. So when a woman gets angry, that means she's really mad and boils down. So that's a really first frustration in a relationship. And that's one part of it. The second part of it, when I say woman, just remember that I'm referring to feminine energy. So when she's feeling a little bit insecure in the relationship, so that could create lack of groundness per se, or like unknown in the relationship. So that's and sadness. Sadness meaning like she's crying, there's tears. The feminine energy is really upset and not really is grounded. And I think it's really big and an important factor to have this, what that looks like. Especially either if you're in the relationship or somebody else and you recognize that, you can always refer back to this video. Okay, so in astrology, sadness is considered to be watery in a relationship. So if you score watery, and how do they calculate this? Is they use our moon sign. And what is our moon sign? It's our feelings. It's how we really feel certain things, how we project things in our world, and how do we receive the world, what we see in front of us. Those are the feelings that we get. So those are the feedback as well, and how we going to react, and that's our masculine part. But how are we feeling, how we make the decision, how we feel about touching this, how you present yourself. I think that's where the feeling comes into, is they really focus on how you feel versus with how you think or where your goal is. So when they say watery, I've seen this over time again, where sadness comes in and the watery is scored on, and it just means that there are emotion or they're feeling, okay, that they're sad about the situation, about their relationship. Could lead into a codependent relationship. You feel like you have lost something, right? So that's why the sadness comes. The sadness is covered up, okay? It's part of that deep relationship. Either you want to have a codependent relationship where you couldn't figure out where you have a mixed emotion, you're confused, you're lost, and it's just a lack of commitment in the relationship. So instead of directing that emotion, you can lead into a guide of like to do. So instead of feeling bad, sorry for yourself, being in the victim mode, instead of feeling sad and empty per se, sadness and confusion, you can go ahead and make an action of some sort of a commitment, either to yourself. It doesn't have to be with the other person per se. It could be a commitment to yourself, or a really strong guideline of what you could do next in order to feel secure and grounded yourself. So that means grounding your tears to the ground so that you have a better foundation, so that you have a better commitment in the relationship, either with yourself or with others. So when we talk about feeling insecure, and the Vedic astrology call it windy. So windy, it just means that if you score in the windy side, it just means that when a female or the feminine energy feels like feeling is not feeling grounded. So there's could be things are a lack of boundary. And, you know, when they say windy in Ayurveda as well, they say like, oh, you're going to catch a cold and all that wind that's coming, hitting at you. So you feel really naked. Okay, so you could be in a situation in a relationship where you feel completely naked and you are cold. Okay, windy means cold. And when you are cold and you feel really insecure, you feel really naked, you feel like very vulnerable in a situation. That could be in a relationship. So that means there's a lack of groundness. Yes, a good healthy therapy means that you have a lack of foundation building from ground up from day one. So when I see this in either on the chart, I immediately know it's a grounding issue, and that means that lackings of do's, don'ts, and clearly where you want to go. So yes, a good way of to start off with is the non-negotiable, right? And what you are wanting in a relationship. So maybe taking your little finger, putting it down to the ground so you can ground yourself. So I would get into the place where you need to get into the task of writing things down so it's clear, black and white. This is an immediate contract. Like I said, Saturn is not a very nice planet, but it really grounds and it makes things clear, and it's hard work. It's hard work. You know, sticking that finger down to the earth, it's hard work. Yes, it is. And so it's just a lack of groundness that you have in the relationship. So that's why you feel naked, and you feel vulnerable, and you are feeling like you're really sick. You're going to be sick to your stomach. That's the nervous feeling that you might get in the relationship. So the third one is anger. And anger really show up as fire, right? So the Vedic astrology, they say, the Kuta especially, they say fire. That means you're going to explode, you're going to boil to the point. Your animal instinct could possibly pop up here. So every anger, there's a layer of sadness and other factors that are in there. But the first one is really, it shows up as anger. Everything else is secondary. You can look at the wind, you can be looking at watery, but the truth of the matter is anger. Okay, so what does anger means is your animal instincts trying to protect you. Who wants to be in a place being vulnerable? Who wants to be in a place where you are crying, you feel like you're weak? So anger feels stronger, of course. So you either could be overcompensating your feelings, okay, and about a situation, either in the relationship. So either he or she said something that really triggers you, and your animal instincts just really is engaged. So that means your masculine is ready to fight. And this is where the relationship really breaks down. And no man or nobody really wants to get into that place, because your animal instinct is there. It's ready to fight and defend whatever point it is of argument. If it's not immoral, I always say, if it's not immoral, unethical, it's not worth fighting for. Let them be who they want to be, and you need to be who you want to be. You got to love them for them as 100% or not. I don't believe in tolerating, and that's where the issue is. The anger comes in because it's the build up, okay? Build up. And I talk about this in my transactional analysis. I'll link more videos at the very end so you have a better understanding about being passive aggressive, where anger is coming from. Could it be prevented? Yes, of course, everything could be prevented. Things happen once, but you need to understand how the other person's temperament is as well. So when anger comes in, yes, it creates cortisols in the bloodstream. And yes, that is a very stress hormone. That brain is ready to fight. And so is your muscle, and everything is ready to trigger up. So I really hope I have broken down the few feelings that I have noticed either in my client, and I also have to consult other people when it comes to in a relationship. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and see where, if you have purchased the Kuta compatibility. I have to kind of give this hands off the translation, the report to Ernst Wilhelm. He is my teacher who taught me this method, and it's a really interesting concept when I learned this from him, and I just made it into my own terms, so it's a lot easier that you can remember. But the report, again, just remember, if you are interested in purchasing a report, learning a little bit more about your relationship, but it's really important to learn a little bit more about yourself, and these are the reason why. And if you need somebody to translate the report, I'm happy to do that. There's always links down below. You can book a time with me and we can get right into it. Again, if you're looking for an astrologer doing prediction and things like that, those are great. But at the end of the day, we're looking at temperaments at the end of the day. We want to make sure that you are in a healthy place for yourself so that you can have a healthy relationship. You got to be the whole you. All right, like I said, if there's a will, there's a way. I will see you in the next video. Bye now. Look, if you're serious about being fearless in love and ready to be treated like a queen, links is down below to book a time. I got over 100 videos on YouTube, and I post new videos every week. So make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button. You get notified when new videos goes live. If your friend is actually stuck in love, share and like my video. I do take requests on topics and answer your burning question about your relationship. So just leave a comment down below. Otherwise, see you in the next video.